It was June 23rd. It was against the Braves. It was Elly De La Cruz cycle night. It was Votto 2 homer night. I remember it so well. I had all my friends over. We watched the MLB TV, the Reds broadcast, of course. And it was the most fun I've had in 9 innings in a long time. I'm wondering how much fun was it to call that game?
That's I didn't fall asleep until about 4 a.m. I took my dog for an extra walk at around 3 in the morning. I couldn't fall asleep. Like I was just on that kind of high. Um, that was the most fun I have ever had calling a baseball game in my life. And one of the greatest pure sporting experiences of my life. Um, because the crowd, like, and I think I said it during that game, or I know I did during that stretch with the 12-game win streak, and um, it felt like a rock concert. Like the hair on my arms was standing up. Like it's that kind of contagious energy that almost unspoken. You're just looking around at other people, and with eye contact, you're saying to each other, like, "Are you feeling this? Like this is transcendent." It's that kind of communal joy that is in the air, and that sounds BS. But if you've ever been to anything like that, it's true. You feel it, and you could see it in those players. And I think part of it is, Elly in his first 2 weeks in the big leagues does something that nobody's done since the late '80s, and it was the guy who has been one of his mentors and part of the reason he wears 44. And Joey, as like the other end of the spectrum generationally, has his own giant night. They're rocking the Black City Connect unis. The stadium is sold out and going crazy. And remember the contrast, because I think that perspective helps a lot. Were coming off of one of the worst attendance seasons for the Reds in decades the year before. And they had a horrendous start to that season until the Texas Rangers series kind of turned it around. They had the worst 3-day weekend attendance draw within the confine of the 23 season during its early stage in the 20-year history of Great American Ballpark. And then that Brave series, starting with that Friday night game, was the most well-attended 3-game series in the 20-year history of Great American Ballpark. The turnaround was enormous. And that was the last game in what proved to be a 12-game win streak. They're playing the Braves that were deservedly the barometer of, are you good or not? And they're able to get into this back and forth slugfest and hang with them. And that night they beat them. And while the Braves took the series, the other 2 games were pretty darn fun and competitive too. That night will be forever burned into my brain. I mean, that was just an otherworldly, stellar, amazing night.
Was it? I think Elly had the triple to cap off the cycle. Like
he did. It's
the coolest.
And so our stats guy, Joel Luckup, who's a huge part of everything we do. I mean, beyond the information that he brings, his personality. I love the guy. He's a great friend. And he loves the Reds and knows a lot about the organization. A fun fact, many of the fun facts you will hear about a Red, first time a Red has since, or the most by a Red, whatever context, he has his own database that he made on his own that's Excel driven. And a lot of those nuggets come from him. And we put it on the screen, and then the Reds verify it through Elias, and then it's put out as the nugget. But he's the one who discovers it. He's the one who even thinks to look a lot of these things up. And so he's been a cycle geek since I started. One of our first ever conversations, he talked about, just so you know, every time a guy's a triple shy, I'm going to be poking you about this. And it was kind of a running joke over several years. But when Elly, before he came up, I mean, even when we knew he's going to be in the big leagues at some point, he screams cycle. His skill set screams it. TJ Friedel has a lot of triples. I mean, and Great American Ballpark is such a hard ballpark to triple in, yet those 2 guys are kind of built for it in some way, that it was a matter of time to me. I think it's a matter of time until Elly is going to hit an inside the park homer. He's probably going to have more than one. Now, where and how that happens, and, does it win a game or something like that? That's different. But that's what inflames all of it. It's like we had that building anticipation. There was chatter in the booth after his second at bat. Could the cycle be coming tonight? And then so it keeps building. And they're going back and forth trying to win the game. So India scores on the play from first base. that was it was a 1-run game. It was 12-11 final. Yeah, I mean, just so much fun.